Good, guys. M.V.K here. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. And I better cut this off first for copyright. As always, guys, how's everybody doing? Your alpha is here. New location, same flavor. And I hope everybody is well. So I'm here, guys, to hang out with you for an hour or two. We'll go 2 hours. And I'm here to answer your questions for the final Q&A of the month. It's been a wild ride as anything, guys. You know, like I said, dealing with the move. I'm now in my new place. We're in a new place now, and I'll show off the room later, another time. But I got this whole back wall that I'm about to hit with a bunch of images and all my prints that I have never been able to put up that I got from like different cons. So I'm gonna get them framed and start mounting them on the wall behind me. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Yes, guys, you can ask me about Shang-Chi if you want to, because I will be. I've seen it. I'll be putting up my review of it later this week. I recorded it. I didn't put it up because, like I said, I was limited to internet and access to my programs to able to, like edit and things like that. So I didn't have access to that. Most of the videos that you saw before were videos I recorded right on my phone. So I was just on my phone with that stuff. So, but now yesterday the technician had come through, set back everything back up. My cable's back up. My internet is back up. We back, and yeah, man. As always, when we do a live open mic, I put your questions. I put it on a slow mo. So I'll answer everybody's questions, boom, right there. But more importantly, this chat, this Q&A is actually, there's a fundraiser, of course, as always with these Q&As. I always put a fundraiser that I feel cool about and I feel welcome to do. And today this Q&A is excuse me, the fundraiser is for Save the Wolves. As you guys know me, I am a huge one of my favorite animals is a wolf. It is actually my spirit animal. So I don't just say I'm the alpha for no reason. That I found out it is my spirit animal. Wolves, of course, are one of the most demonized animals on the planet. And the problem with that is, it is true. They are demonized to the fullest. In old stories, they're depicted as the villains, but they are probably one of the most noblest creatures in the world. And they're family oriented. And yeah, like any animal, they can be dangerous. But most of the time, they're themselves. When you think about a wolf, it's like you have the heart of a wolf, the spirit of a wolf, bravery of a wolf. Wolves. So if you can, I would really appreciate it if you can go a little something to save our wolves. I would hate to see wolves on the endangered species list and transcending though. But in the meantime, guys, I'm here. Let's see who is here. Okay, so far so good. So let's get to the questions. Cool shirt. Oh, thank you. Picked it up yesterday. And, you actually will see it also in my Shang-Chi review as well. It's a dragon. I'm gonna get another. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so the place looks neat. Well, you haven't really seen it. You just seen a back wall, so it's so you can't really tell. But it, once I get everything really, most of the stuff is set up the way I wanted it to be set up. I'm still missing my TV stand, and I'm gonna get a desk behind me. And like I said, this back wall, Kuma will have all my prints on the side and things like that. Good evening. Yeah. Did you hear about Melvin Van Peebles? What happened to Melvin Van Peebles? What happened to him? Did he pass away? Don't come on now. I ain't trying to hear no bad news. Oh, don't tell me he passed away. Oh, he did die. Oh, oh, Mario Van Peebles' dad died. Damn it. Uh, was trying not to hear no bad news, but oh man. I'm waiting for Shang-Chi to come on Disney Plus. Yeah, but you still gonna have to pay for that right now. They ain't giving that away for free. I saw it in the movie theaters. I loved it. I thought it was great. That movie deserves to be in theaters. I'm not waiting to stream something. I'm not gonna do that. Um, that movie deserved it, and it deserves all the credit that it's getting. It deserves everything, like pretty much, like to all my Asian geeks out there. I told y'all were gonna get yours with Shang-Chi, and I was right. Um, indeed. How did the version of Mandarin compare to everything? It was much better because he was, and they poked fun of that in the movie. He poked fun of just the whole concept of him being called the Mandarin because in just it pokes fun of the whole thing, like in general, just the name of the character, everything. Like Mandarin is a language and also it's a flavor. He poked fun of that, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. Tony Leung did a great job as that character. He was great. I'm not gonna spoil anything, so don't ask me to spoil, but it was great. I didn't see Chung-Yi. I recommend it. Go seeing it. Um, what is your favorite Tony Leung movie? Um, uh, uh, I, no, not Geisha. I'm sorry. I was about to say Diaries of Geisha, but he wasn't in that. Um, got to come back to that question because he's been in so many movies. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy how many movies he's been in. Um, but he's been. I'll come back to that question. Who asked that question? Travis. I'll come back to that question because that's a tough one. Um, Jesus Christ, that's a tough one. I did like him in Red Hero. He was good in that. That's definitely one of them. Like I said, okay, fuck Hunter for murdering them. I wouldn't say fuck them and hate them because they're protecting their livestock, and most wolves don't go after livestock. That's more olden stock times. They're not gonna. But if it's a free meal, they're gonna go. So don't say that because if you were a farmer, you'd be doing the exact same thing. Don't even deny you wouldn't. You're protecting your livestock. That's your bread and butter. So I wouldn't say that. Do you plan to update? I'm skipping that question. I ain't got nothing to do with it. What was your reaction when Korra got crippled by Zahir? Uh, she kind of deserved it a little bit. I like I said, I love Korra. I love Legend of Korra, but I felt like everything was too easy for her in the beginning of that. So when things started happening to her, I'm like, well, she kind of deserved that. Like, I like when the main character has to progress instead of already having everything in a sense. So that's just me. Mm, 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 mm. Let's get to more. Do rats freak you out? I'm not a big fan of rats. um, I'm not really not. I mean, they swim, they could do this, everything they you think they can't do, they can do. They can bite through anything. It's rats don't freak me out, but it's just like I'm not too scared of them. But it's like I've seen big rats. Like I live in New York. I've seen them subway rats get huge. I've seen subway rats crawling on people in the tunnel. So yeah, they get big, and that's freaky. Like they have no fear, none. So yeah, not fearful of them, but they will attack you. They have no fear, and if you're in their way, if you're blocking their way, you better believe they're going through you by any means necessary, and that means maybe eating through you. Uh, you see it in a lot of movies, and then I've seen it, on other things where you know people will heat the like have a rat in something like in a tin and put the rat on maybe your stomach or somewhere, and they set that tin on fire, and the rat is biting, biting because it's trying to get off. I've seen that stuff, and they're just, they got no fear, man. I'm not even joking. Mm. That is not even funny. Not even a factor. Hamster Maiden. Thank you for the donation, Hamster Maiden. I appreciate that. That'll go right to saving the wolves. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Okay, so keep going on. Let's see what else. Question. Did you see Invincible season one? I did. I did see season one of Invincible. I wasn't. I was familiar. I'm familiar with Invincible. I've read all the books, so I was just wondering how they were going to do it, adapt, and everything that happened. I'm like, I know this was coming with Omni Man. I was just wondering when were they going to start setting the tone of showcasing that this guy ain't who he says he is. He's not a protector, and when are they going to show that the Voldemort are not who they pretend to be? And they did. They did a fairly good job. I'm looking forward to season two, and uh, Mark's, them bringing in Mark's brother and things like that. Uh, uh, but like I said, I was a big fan of that. Marion, what are your thoughts on God of War Ragnarok? Oh, good question. I knew somebody was finally going to ask me this question. I love what I saw, but of course, you knew there was going to be a lot of people once they saw the design of Thor. They were going to be like, "Oh, y'all just copying MC." No, fools. They're not copying anybody because there is no true interpretation of Thor. And if you look at all the modern art and everything like that, I am a mythology nut, so I know I can separate what Jack Kirby and Stan Lee did with the character in Marvel. That's that character, because in the regular story, the only thing we know about Thor with the interpretation of Thor is one. he had red hair. He had red hair. They kept that true. The look that we see in Thor in God of War, that's still imposing right there. That is the interpretation of a what you would look for someone of Scandinavian background with a Viking god of thunder with a hammer. That look right there, that's not even, he still looks jacked to the point like, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that guy. I don't know what everybody's problem, and that just shows right there, all the people that are saying that stuff, they have never opened a real mythology book. They just focused on Marvel and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Marvel fan myself. I'm a comic book lover too. But I know how to separate the differences of these mythological creatures. The Marvel DC, they have always brought in these mythological gods into their worlds as well. There's a Hercules in DC. There's a Hercules in Marvel, and they look different. Same thing with and with Thor, we mostly see it too. But I love it. I know they've already stated that this is the end of the Norse mythology saga, and I guess they're gonna move on to someone else. It's like, oh my God, is Kratos just gonna go through every pantheon of gods, you know? And Tyr, the god of war, of Norse god of war. I mean, when he stood up, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Like he was towered over Kratos. I thought it was great. Let's see, what's next? Okay, Hamster Maiden says, not fearful of them, but respecting their capabilities. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, like I said, I I ain't got no hate for rats. You know, just y'all stay in your league, your lane, and I'll stay in mine. Don't come into my territory, because then, like, even with mice, like, I don't hate mice, but when they're around and I in my area, like, even when I have to catch them, like sometimes there was, like, in my old place, we had mice all the time, and I had to catch them and things like that. And most of the time, me and my brother mom, we would catch them humanely, and we would trap them, or if we did have it, and then we set them free, like you take them outside and set them free. And even if they did get put on the glue sticks, there's a way of getting the mice off of it. So here's a trick that I learned from actually Billy the Exterminator. um, if you catch a mouse on the glue traps, and you don't want them suffering, because you sometimes you hear them like, just take common vegetable oil or anything like that, pour it on it, pour it on the mouse, and the oil will dissolve the glue solution, and the mouse will get off. That's how I did it. But then my mom also had a trap that would, like, they would go in, because there'll be like food at the end, and crack down, so they'd be safe, and then you just let them out from there. So, but I'm just saying, like, you want to be humanely with certain things, you know, but just stay in your lane. Like, if a rat's coming at me like trying to harm me, then yeah, I will defend myself, because they have no fear. They're like a mongoose or a badger. You ever see them honey badgers in documentaries that be out in there, Africa? They so tough. They like be scaring off lions and lioness. I'm like, or Tasmanian devil. Yeah, they're tough. Or yes, a real life Wolverine. You ever seen a real life Wolverine? They are tough. They are not scared. Like, so Wolverine got his, like, when you understand why Wolverine got his name sake, go look at that animal. Then you be like, okay, I can understand why he's called that. No fear. Little small, but no fear. Hey Caroline. Uh Fog is a scary villain. Uh how how do how do you beat Sebastian Shaw in a fist fight? Uh it's tough, but it can be done. I mean, yes, Sebastian Shaw is a mutant. It's the all the energy you using to hit at him, or he absorbs it. Um, Beast tried a way of doing it once before, like they, because everything you saw in the old X-Men cartoon, that happened in the comic. Beast tried to use not enough force where he can absorb that is not focused on him. But eventually, yeah, I mean, he did found because just the force of Beast trying to spin him. They showed that in the comics too. But he can be hurt. It's not like he can't be hurt. If he like Wolverine can stab him and yeah, he'll die. It's just like he can't absorb like he's absorbing the kinetic energy you're using on him or something like that. Similar to Bishop. Bishop, it's the he's absorbing the bio energy that you're using to hit him, and it makes him stronger, and he can shot it right back at you. But he's also like a battery. You can only store up so much. That's why when you saw in Days of Future Past what they did to him, I was like, yeah, that would be the way to really hurt Bishop. You just supercharge him to overload him, and he'll die. It's kind of the same way with Sebastian Shaw. What mythology? What mythology would you want God of War to explore next? Um, well, he's done the Greek. I think Greek, of course, Greek gets over pushed enough, but Kratos is of Greek mythology, so it was only natural they were going to do Greek. Norse, I was shocked that they went Norse. Um, for me, I would probably say Egyptian, probably Egyptian or Sumerian. I'll take Sumerian. Where maybe he meets Gilgamesh or somebody like that. Um, he's not on the island, so I can't say like Polynesian. I would love that. I'd see like Pele and all that stuff. That'd be great. Uh, yeah, it probably maybe Irish. That'd be cool. Or Air, as back in ancient times, Ireland used to be called Air. So I think that'd be cool. But I think it still goes around. You still have to have the mythology still has to have its own god of war. So with Irish mythology, there's several gods and goddesses that represent war. For one, Bath, the goddess of war, with Egyptian. Oh God, who's the Egyptian god of war? Uh, there's so many because it's different. Yeah, there's so many. But wherever it goes, who asked that question again? Hamster. Um, I think it'd be cool. I'm gonna just call you HM. How about that? HM. Uh, not the store, but I'm gonna just call you that. It's gonna be interesting to see where they take the next story with him. I thought the biggest thing, what was so cool about the one thing I would say that was cool about God of War, the last one, is not only did they make Kratos older, you know, but him saying that he's a god, you know, and he is. His father is Zeus, but I thought he was a demigod, not a full god, because I think they do know his mother. But I'll digress. Um, I After a while I stopped liking Kratos. I was not really because after the first game, I was like, okay, he got his revenge. Then the second one, and then everything that happened in the second one, I'm like, the second one, the third one, I'm like, you know what? It's kind of you brought this on yourself now. Athena's trying to tell him like, okay, now you don't do this. And she listened to the goddess of wisdom, like, hey, like, But then after a while, it's just like, yeah, you kind of, and I just couldn't take it no more. And then, but this game comes out, The last one comes out, and then he's a father. He's gotten wiser. He's not throwing the first punches all the time. And even when you first meet the stranger, who I knew right away who that was, I'm like, they kept saying it, but I'm just like, once we knew it was Norse mythology, I quickly said, that's Balder. That's Balder right there. I know that's Balder. And you can't hurt me. And that's, if you know Norse mythology, Balder could not be hurt or could be killed, except for one little thing. Mistletoe. Hurt him. And I killed him. So yeah. But it was good. Let's move on. Okay. Marion, how do you think Cora's character would have changed if she was never able to regain her abilities to walk after? I think it would have humbled her a little bit, but I think she would have became angrier and frustrated with the people she cared that loved her. She would probably pushed a lot of people away, because sometimes, when you lose the ability of something that you take for granted, and you could take a lot out, and people are trying to help you, yeah, it will take a lot out, a lot. So it meant something for her to get it back. Caroline, do you think the MCU should introduce the Savage Land? Oh, hell yes. um the Savage Land, I still need to do my video on the do's and do not for Kevin Feige when bringing the X-Men back into the MCU. And the Savage Land is definitely one of them that I want to see. And don't sit there and tell me, oh, it's not plausible, it's stupid, everything. Shang-Chi just had a freaking dragon and all this other stuff. Don't tell me it's not plausible. If I would love if you can't tell me that they could not explain a mystical or a ecosystem deep in the Antarctic, similar to like Middle Earth, where dinosaurs and everything still exists. Don't tell me you can't do that. I would love to see the Savage Land. What Fox did, that's in the past now. Now let's get going with what we should see. Don't repeat what we already saw. That's why I say all the time I always say, Kevin Feige, stay away from the Phoenix. Stay away from that, because if you're not gonna do the full avenue of that force, that entity, don't do it. Don't do it until y'all get it right. And don't sit there and say, well, the last did it right. No, they didn't. And the last one before, and that the other one, no, they didn't. They have never fully done the Phoenix right live action. And I understand it's an adaptation, but there's certain things in adaptation you cannot screw with. The Phoenix is not to be screwed with. Sorry. But the Savage Land, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do it. Did you find Bud Bud Bundy was Mako? Oh yeah, that was fine. I was fine with that. If if it helps, you can just call me Hamster. Oh, okay. Hamster, fine. Travis, what are what are what are your thought? What are your thoughts on the YouTube channel Good Bad Flicks? I don't think I've ever. I gotta check it out. I can't give you anything on it. When it comes to YouTube, guys, I stick to my lane most of it. I stick to the people I watch. Outside of like I said, people like Dashi, Dashi XP, all his channels. Love Dashi. He's one of my favorites. Corey Kenshin, I'm a big fan. Lamar Wilson. There's a lot of skit channels that I like from like Big Jaw and Troy in LA. The Try channel. I really love the Try channel. Um, uh, you know, and of course, your stuff like Marvel and stuff. But every once in a while, you find other things. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the character of Amita Light from Our House? I like mostly all the characters in Our House. Our House is just a really good show. I love that show. Um, this they all I there's something about all the characters that I like to a degree. I was asking how should it go? Um, just what I said. It's a lost ecosystem that has been hidden for a long time. That's it. And don't need to go too deep into it. Hmm. Most funniest moment. Uh, most funniest moment from most fun. Wait, most funny moment I gonna get. You mean? Are you trying to say most funniest moment from I'm gonna get you, sucker? There's a lot. There's actually a lot. Um, One of my favorite moments is when Jack and I guess the call girl, and she talks about how oh you like this, and she pops off her butt and pop, and it's like, yeah, I don't have that big butt and this hair, and she pops it off, and she's bald, and she's got only one leg, and she starts trying to catch, and I'm like, I looked at that, I'm like, it's funny, but the older I get and I'm watching it now, I'm like, okay, so she got one leg and she's bald, still smash, you know, like go for it, like what is the not working or not? Nah. Another money moment is when my man gets out of prison and he's walking and his shoes break with the fit down. That cracks you. I love that. And of course, Isaac Hayes' death is just always makes me laugh. In that, he's loading up in all these guns, and you got Jim Brown's character like, yo, you think you got enough? And he's like, never have enough. And he comes out and he slips on a bullet and he just gets. I thought that was funny. That was hilarious to me. I doubt it. And that fandom is not gonna wreck it. Funniest moment from the Friday movies. Well, I I mostly stick with the. Oh God, see, rest in peace, Ezel. The actor who played Ezel, he recently passed away. God damn. Um, but anyway, uh, for me, Friday, I like the trilogy, but to me, the first one will always be the funniest. So I'll just stick with the first one. There's just so many. It's hard because there's so many scenes in the first one that cracks me up. Like when they catch little Chris, and I like that scene. Um, Once Ezel comes in the picture, it's funny as heck. Uh, just there's just so many scenes in that. Still funniest scene to me. One of the funniest is is when Craig tells Smokey, why he got fired from his job, and then he's like, he got you. He's like, what the fuck you stealing boxes for? You trying to build a club? It cracks me up. You gotta be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off. That's just crazy. Yeah, well, that's funny. Um, what was worse? What was worse thing you did? What was the worst thing you did in the Hitman games? I usually don't do too many. I just follow the rules. I don't go too crazy with Agent 47. I don't. I try not to. I just stick to whatever mission they say. Do it. That's it. Which X-Men character do you see carrying their own Disney Plus series? Gambit. Gambit could work. They could finally do that Gambit on Disney Plus. That would be a really good way of doing the story between him and Belladonna, the story of the assassins and the thieves. That could be left for a Disney Plus series, big time. Raging Cajun for sure, definitely for sure. Him and Belladonna, things like that. Boom. Favorite? I can't remember any of the missions of GTA San Andreas offhand. Like I like the game, but I don't really pay too much attention like the missions like that. I mean, I hear there's rumors that they want to remake it, but you know, I don't pay too much attention. Sorry, Travis. I just play the game, and most of the stuff I remember are maybe more of the cut scenes that just crack me up. What moment in Ghost of Tsushima that was hard for you to watch? Um, oh, that's a tough one. I think probably some of the toughest ones is just involving um his uncle. Um, that ending. See, yeah, the ending is definitely because it's like it's just like he knows you could do the good ending, not kill your uncle or kill him, but it's just sad because now he knows he's gonna be hunted now for the rest of his life, and it is tough. Watching when the Khan kills kills what is her name? I'm forgetting her name right now. The first woman that saved you, I'm forgetting her name right now. Her brother, he killed. I was like, oh, you fucker, like stuff like that. Star Wars fans, I problem with Star Wars fans, I have a problem with is yeah, they are hypocritical. You know, they want this and they talk about they want new characters, and when new characters are incorporated, they want to bash them. Like Miss Tran. I I had no problem with their character. Like what the, but I will say I still feel that Disney has missed a big part of instead of doing their own thing. I know they wanted that's what they could have easily incorporated the expanded universe. You know how you know how long how much I want to see Mara Jade Skywalker in the continuity. That's Luke's wife. She is a badass. But they're not gonna stuff like that. That's what really irks me big time. Black Wolf Mission Ghost was dark. That was dark. Who's your favorite fictional witches? Uh, Willow from Buffy. There you go. She's definitely one of my favorites. Um, I won't say Scarlet Witch. I mean, but I don't. Mm, I guess you could kind of say no. Morgan Le Fay is more like an enchantress. She's not a witch. You know, same thing with like yeah. But I'll definitely throw Willow up there. Willow, Buffy, definitely. Uh, I would say that the Cadet sisters from Hocus Pocus. They're funny. Let's see. Mm, 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 Once again, I want to thank Hamster. Thank you so much for that donation. That is going to a good cause. So thank you. I appreciate that. Um. So, oh yeah, I throw Sabrina in there, of course. Um. I Bayonetta, but she's a different type of witch. Like I don't really look at Bayonetta as a witch, be using guns and stuff. I'm like, okay, but Bayonetta's definitely in there. Um, the charm ones, they're definitely witches. Yeah, they definitely are. It was a good calls. Is it really crazy? Ivy Valentine, father of Cervantes. I still find that kind of funny. Like Cervantes, the eternal pirate, is had a child, Ivy, and that always just bugs me. I'm like, not bugs me. It's like that's your pops. Like really? I don't see the resemblance really, but it's there. But I mean, y'all know y'all be just looking at Ivy put up the tatas, just mess with you. I don't know how she could fight and all that stuff. It's ridiculous. Like she's fighting in high heels, but it's cool that she has like a whip blade. You know what? And she's not the first. She's not the only one that has that. Because I just watched Raya and the Last Dragon, which was that was so good. She has a blade like Ivy. Really good movie. I love that. That movie was great. That movie was great, and it was worth the wait to watch that. I had it. I had it digitally, and I just sat down and finally watched it when I didn't have like access to anything. I just watched it. I was like, oh, this was good. The theme of it just made so much sense. The theme of it was all about trust. It was just trust, but it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. And the baby, she was so funny. Let's see. Um, Will Miser dropping that $5. Respect, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, Karma Castlevania was stupid. Oh. What are your thoughts on Owen Hart being all elite? Everything. You talking about the foundation? That's fine. I'm fine with that. Got no problem. AEW tonight was really good. Wasn't a big fan of the Ruby Soho Britt Baker match. I don't think that should have main evented. The main event should have been the uh, American Dragon Bryan Danielson and and Kenny Omega. That should have been the main event. Uh, but it was an overall good show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. They were right here in New York. They were at Arthur Ashe. That's out in, I think, Queens. I think. So yeah, it was a good show, but there was some things I didn't. I'm like, but it was good. Braun Breaker. Yeah, okay, I'm still gonna have to get used to that name, because that's Rick Steiner's son. He looks like a Steiner. It's like, good God, you can't tell me he's not. But you could tell, honestly, with this NXT 2.0, they are pushing him. They are definitely pushing him. I think Vince sort of looked at Braun. Yeah, Braun Breaker. That works. Yeah, that's good. So, that name, I still gonna have to get used to that name. That just it's not working, man. Hey Chris, how you doing? Hey Andre. Let's see. Yeah, I want to make sure I don't miss any question. That's why I put the questions on like a slow motion mode. That's fine because I don't want to miss nobody's questions. Okay. All right. Um, just waiting for some questions. But yeah, while I wait for some questions, oh, here we go. So, quick question: what do you think of the new upcoming Hit Monkey series? I'm definitely gonna check that out. I haven't read Hit Monkey in a long time. That is a very obscure Marvel character. He is a Japanese snow monkey, mountain snow monkey, and he's when he learns. Yeah, he took in protecting a hitman, an assassin, and it's crazy. I'm definitely gonna check that out. If Hulu's gonna do stuff like that with the very obscure characters, be my guest. You know, because Hit Monkey is definitely very obscure. I haven't read that comic in years. Yeah, he does. He sounds like he looks like his daddy, but does sound like his uncle. But I like him. You know, he's coming around, and you know, but he's they're pushing him. They're pushing him fast. Any shows on Hulu I watch? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shows on Hulu I watch, and most of them are shows that have been that I miss because they're on TV. You know, like Keenan show I would watch through Hulu. Um, The Rock's TV show I would watch through Hulu. So yeah, things like that. What do you think of Freyja being one of the villains in God of War? Right? Fine. I mean, you killed Freyja. You killed her son. What do you think was going to happen? Okay, like it was no surprise when I saw her come back. I'm like, yeah, you killed her son. So any thoughts on the animated Modok series? Never watched it. I'm not. Modok is a character. I'm not that like. I like him in spurts, but I'm not gonna watch a whole series about him. Sorry. Like to me, he's more of a supporting villain. Like the way they used him in like uh Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That's how I like him. I'm not gonna watch a whole series about him. Sorry, that's just not gonna work for me. Favorite Willow moment on Buffy when she went ape shit and killed when her lover died and she killed. Woo! And she looked at Buffy like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" That was the mm, 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 mm. That was it. She skinned him alive. Yeah. Warhawk, greetings from Wildwood, New Jersey. I'm on vacation. Oh yeah. Okay. You're in the Garden State. Well, not too far from me. Um, you see the Jersey Devil yet? Oh well, you're not in the Pine Barrens though. Sorry. Got to go down there. Probably see him. Uh, so quick question. Could literal Martians work within the Marvel comics? Yeah, Martians could work there. Yes, they could. I think they could. I think the Martians could work. We see them more pinnacle in the DC universe, but I think they could work in the Marvel universe too. The only difference is I think we kind of already got them in some way with the scrolls because they could shape shift and all that stuff. But I think the Martians are a little bit more because they got more abilities, not just shape shift, but they're telepathic, things like that. Unless you're a super scroll or things like that. But yeah. So how long are you gonna be in Jersey, Warhawk? Are you from Jersey? Okay. Yeah. I always try to figure out where my pack is from. Like, okay, where you hailing from? Because I got pack members from all over, and the coolest ones I think are, well, some of the coolest ones are definitely the ones from international. Like, I got a lot of British pack members and a lot of Aussie pack members. I tend to draw attention with me with Aussies. I don't know. I just like Aussies. Aussies. Speaking of Martians, have you read the Mars Attacks comics? A long time ago. I like them, but and then of course I saw the movie, but and I think I read a crossover Mars Attacks meets, I forgot what it was, but yeah, I've read some of them. Uh, been here for a few weeks. I'm from the DC area. I'm going home Sunday night. Okay, okay, DC. I've been through the DC area. Never really, it's funny. I've been through DC, but I have never truly stepped into our nation's capital, like walked around and things like that. And I was gonna do it this this year because there was no, not this year. No, it was last year. I was gonna do it because there was a convention I was gonna go down. I was gonna go to Awesome Con. That's in DC, the DC area, and I was gonna go down there. I was gonna spend the whole day down there, and I was gonna walk around for the first day. Then the con was the next day, and I never got to because we all know what happened. So yeah, but I've never been like I think some people find it weird. I don't think you should when people say I ain't never been here. Like, and you hear that a lot from when you say it to somebody who is not from the States. They like, really, like, you're not. I'm like, I've been to approximately 10 states in New York, because I live in New York, California, uh, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Virginia, Jersey, and uh, Delaware, More. No, Maryland. Excuse me, not Baltimore, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Those are the 10 states I've been to. I've never been to Texas. I've never been to Atlanta. I would love to go to Atlanta. I'm close. Oh yeah, Connecticut. So there's 11. I've been to Connecticut. I want to go to Minnesota. No, Minnesota, Seattle, Washington. There's and yes, a lot of them do have conventions that are there, but I still like to go to conventions, but also tour the city because it's like when I went to MegaCon 2 years ago, in Orlando. That was the first time I've been to Orlando. It was great to just walk around Orlando and things like that. You know, um, it's funny. People have been asking me already, am I going to New York Comic Con this year? I'm not gonna go. I thought about going, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna take the year off. I'm gonna keep what I said. Take the year off. Not going to conventions this year, but next year, I'm start planning. Okay, where to go because I usually try to go to at least 4 conventions a year. I got a bucket list, guys, of where I want to get to. But of course, yeah, because I'm in New York, I gotta hit New York Comic Con. But this year, I'm not gonna go. It has nothing to do with like what they want. They want you to show the card or something explaining that you are vaccinated. I am vaccinated, but I just like no, there are other things more important than going. And I didn't. And usually I save up to go, but I'm not gonna go this year. But next year definitely go because I get a lot of like all the friends that I made, guys. When I did that, if y'all ever seen me do, y'all saw that vlog of my MegaCon. Most of those people that I interviewed, those cosplayers, keep in contact with me, and they're like, "Hey, hey, are you coming down this year?" They asked me this year, and I'm like, "Nah, I'm busy with a move. I'm moving, so everything like that." So yeah, there's a lot of conventions that I still want to check off that list. Um, San Diego is definitely up there. I definitely got to get back out to Cali. Emerald Con, that's out in Seattle. Definitely want to do Chicago. Um, uh, the big one in Atlanta is definitely another one. Love to go back to MegaCon. I made a promise that I would go to my boy Mr. Multi. Definitely we do it again. I think Hullabalooza in Houston. There's a couple of conventions that I still want to get to. Check them off my bucket list. Let's see. Funniest moment in The Mask. Mm, that's hard because the movie was just funny to me. It was Jim Carrey at his finest. So, where in New York State would be a good place to visit for vacation if you're coming from Omaha, Nebraska, like me? Omaha. Um. Well, there are a lot of places actually. Besides just New York City, definitely, I definitely recommend anybody. If you've never been to New York City, go down there. There's so much things to do down there. So many things to see. I mean, it may sound like just like standard, but trust me, visiting the Statue of Liberty in person and seeing her in all her glory is fantastic. You take the ferry over to get to Liberty Island, and you just look at it, and it's just amazing. You just like, man, this was actually brought over, you know, from another country there, touring, even touring like Central Park not in the evening, but in the trust me, you don't want to do that in the evening. Go to famous places like going uptown to Harlem and visiting the famous Apollo Theater. You know how many people got their start in the Apollo Theater? That's a landmark. Um, all the different museums. But then outside of New York City, there are other cities like you going up to the Appalachian Mountains or Lake George and places like that, where especially in the wintertime they have like a winter festival, and the lake freezes over, and they have a festival on top of that lake, and things like that. There's so many different mountain trails, especially in northern New York, where I'm kind of closer to. There's a lot of places outside of just New York City, but it's you know never um sometimes it's just people, because people are like, oh, I mean, why would I want to go to the Empire State Building? Why not? It's once you get up there, you're like, wow, it's real. This used to be the tallest building in the city until, and of course, trust me, visiting the memorial. I've lived in New York for almost all my life, and the first time I finally went down, took the courage and went down there to that site. It is breathtaking. It is very emotional. You step foot on that, you're like, it's almost like you can sense just the lives and the people that risk their lives, is because and the water, that's all the people's names on the memorial, and you see the tower, the other tower, the Freedom Plaza tower right there, and just it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm telling you. But yeah, Omaha, like, yeah, the Dust Bowl. No, I'm just messing with you. uh, I, I've been to DC, and yeah, one thing I remember from it was walking for so long. I hail from Indianapolis, Indiana, for what I used to live in Lafayette, Indiana, for years. Needless to say, I was kind of a disappointment with Ruby. So, Macho, I love Britt Baker though. Yeah, I didn't hate the match, but I just felt like it it was just okay. She lost, and then move on to the next. That's my problem with AEW with the women's division. They focus so much on just the champion and never on. That's why it's like that roster, that female roster is like, wait, like what the, like yo, look at all this talent, and you're not using it. You're focusing on just one person, and that person is being challenged. I that's how I feel. It's just, but clearly you can see what they're building to. Britt's gonna lose that belt to Thunder Rosa. She's gonna take it. You can clearly see it's written all over the walls. But I did not feel that match deserved the main event status. That should have been the Kenny and Bryan Danielson. That match was awesome, and it was the right call. It was the right call to make. Go to a draw, stuff like that. You know why? Because you shouldn't be beating Kenny like that, and you shouldn't be having Bryan losing. So them going to a draw works. See, WWE wouldn't do that. They would literally have somebody lose, and then you're going to do another rematch. No, you save it. You build up again for it. That's the problem. Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 500 race rate, things like that. Got another friend from Indianapolis. Um, so what do you think is the weirdest Marvel character that you've ever seen or read? Weirdest? Uh, Probably one of the Great Lake Avengers. I think it's Big Bertha or Flat Man. It's one. They're just weird. They're just weird to me. I can't get into those characters. Even though I love Squirrel Girl, I do love Squirrel Girl. She's cool. I like Doreen. I'm from Truceville, Alabama. Alabama. Roll Tide. Yeah. What was it? Oh, Alabama. Yeah, Alabama. All right. All right, that's cool. All right. I wish Winwood would have do a con. It's right on the beach. Would be fun. Hey, like I said, what's the? I think there's a convention in Jersey. I think there's one. I just can't remember what it is. But it's like it is. It's also cool when you do these conventions because it is about traveling. You get to go to these places that you may have never gone before. And for me, that's how it is. It's like you know getting on that plane or wherever, depending on, for me, from MegaCon, I had to get on a plane to go to Florida. And boom. And if I went to AwesomeCon, I would have just taken a Greyhound right down to DC. That's about it. But yeah, I definitely want to go back. And what I'm really starting to love about when I go to conventions is interviewing, blogging cosplayers. I love talking to cosplayers, and the better the cosplay is cool too because I start picking their heads. Like, okay, why'd you like? One of the main questions I ask is like, why did you pick this character? Why did you pick this? Are you a fan of that character? And sometimes it's kind of of course I'm a fan, but sometimes you wonder, it's like, are you just into that character because she looks or he looks cool, or it's just he or she got a movie or something out? No, but you talk to them and it's like, and you get to know them. You know, it's just like cool. And I did that at MegaCon, and I did that at New York Comic Con 2019. Met some great people there, and it's just fun. I love doing that stuff. I remember when I talked to a guy who was dressed up as Cloud Strife, and I was asking him about his Buster Blade. I was like, "What is it made out of?" And he's like, "Oh, it's cardboard and things like that." And I said, "Can I hold it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He let me hold it. I'm like, "Yo, dude, this got some weight to it." Like, and there's a picture on it. If you follow me on like uh, Instagram and or Facebook, there's like I got a whole album of MegaCon. You see me holding it, and he's doing like the pose, and it's cool. It's fun. Uh, yeah, but I love interviewing cosplayers, cosplaying, and I've done my fair share of cosplaying too. Cosplaying is fun. It is, and you're never too old to do it. Don't let anybody tell you you're too old to do it because it ain't, or tell you like, oh, you can't be that character. Why not? Why? You're not. To me, cosplaying is you're not disrespecting a character. You're actually honoring that character. Like the last time I cosplayed, I was Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, and nobody questioned it. You know, nobody knew what I looked like underneath the mask until I opened it up and like, oh. But I can tell you how much I can't tell you how much that made me feel when little kids are coming up to me, grabbing me by the leg, and hi Spider-Man, like hugging me and things like that. And I remember I was fixing my mask because my eyes lenses got kind of fogged up, and I was kind of running blind. I'm like, oh, I can't see, so I had to fix, and I just felt something grab my leg, and I'm like, and I looked down, Daddy, look, it's Spider-Man. I'm playing along. I'm like, hey man, hey, how you doing? And I'm giving him high five. It's like the greatest feeling in the world to have that because that was me and kind of still is me when I see guys in cosplay as Spider-Man. I'm always gonna go up to a Spider-Man character, or if I met another Spider-Man, it was like a universal. It was like universal. Like anytime I ran into another Spider, yo Spidey, we just fist bump, boom. You know, it was great. It was so much fun, and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun to do. Before that, I cosplayed as Agent 47. I was Agent 47. Had the suit, the tie, the gloves. I had the guns, but the only thing and I was in character the whole time. Like the only thing that wouldn't stick is I had the tattoo, the barcode, and it wouldn't stick on the back of my head. My head was bald. I shaved my head off and everything, and I was in character mode all day. The only time I broke character was when I met Gail Simone. I was like, yeah, okay, I got to break character. But other than that, I loved it. It was so much fun. If I cosplayed again, there's still a lot of cosplays I want to do. Um, People keep saying I should be Dutch from Black Lagoon. I'm like, yeah, I probably could pull that off. But Shadow Man is definitely up there where I get my all black, and the only problem I have is the lenses, like the contacts. I've put contacts in once, and they were hurting so bad. I'm like, okay, this hurts, and I think it was just the contacts where my eyes were just dry. So, but the more you cosplay, the more fun you have with it, and you get a lot out of it because to me, you're respecting the characters. You that's just me. So since it's still Hispanic Heritage Month, are you going to do a top 10 list of? Yes, I am. I am going to do that. I try to do that for any time. So I will be doing that. I'm gonna try to have that up by next week or so. Before I get together with me and Mr. Multi for a collabo, we're gonna do characters that deserve a video game. After it was announced that Wolverine is getting a video game uh, under Insomniac and all that, and Spider-Man 2, and I was like, yeah, there's some characters I feel deserve, and one of the biggest ones for us, me and Mr. Multiverse, is we say it all the time. Excuse me. Is Daredevil. Daredevil deserves a game so badly. It's like Insomniac doing it. Oh my god, my throat tickling up. Insomniac doing it. It's worth it. They've already proven that. Yeah, trust in them. They've given 2 Spider-Man games. We got the second one coming, Spider-Man 2 coming with Venom, and definitely Craven's in it because that's who was talking. And then later on, they're still working on, and they're gonna do Wolverine, and they've already stated that it is mature. So yeah, I'm just wondering who's gonna be in it. What animated show has been the most disappointing to you? Any ones I don't like. Um, any ones I said was going to be pieces of garbage. Like uh, any anime show that I watch, I like. Um, I have not watched that newest He-Man cartoon on Netflix. I don't think I will, but I enjoyed Kevin Smith's version or his. No, it's not even a remake, a reboot. It's continuing the story. I enjoyed it. I don't care what anybody says. So yeah. I like Disco Inferno as low card wrestlers. Disco Inferno. Oh my god. Um, do you um, do you have a favorite pizza place in New York City? When I do go into the city, um, there are I definitely stick to the mom and pop stores. But trust me when I tell you guys, there ain't nothing wrong with a good um, 99-cent pizza. I'm telling you that there's a place right next to my comic stop, Midtown Commerce, right in Times Square. They serve pizzas for $1. They're $1, and they're not bad at all. But outside of that, there's a place in Times Square that's really good. They actually showed it. It's actually near. They actually showed if you watch Ninja Turtles 2, they actually show it in the movie. I've got the name of it, but it's really good. But in my where I live, Mount Vernon, there's a couple of great pizza places. One of the oldest pizza places in my town where I'm in Mount Vernon uh, is called Johnny's. They've been around for over 50 years, and they make standard original Italian pizza like that thin crust. You can't buy it like a slice. You can only buy a pie. They make good stuff. They've been announced a couple of times. And there's a lot of places outside of just Mount Vernon, but there's a place called the Pizza Barn, and they sell gigantic slices. Uh, like, and me and my brother went there, and we got a. It's huge. It's big. It's huge. It's good though. But yeah, there's a lot of great mom and pop outside of just the big franchises, because that's people ask me that too. I get that a lot. Warhawk is like, what's your favorite pizza? And I'm like, when you say that, you mean like franchises, and I'll say all the time, it's Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut will always come first. I love Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut as a franchise. I've been rocking with them since I was a kid. Always loved them first. Then I would say Domino's comes next. And there's a lot of places, that I haven't tried, but the Domino's come next. I have not eaten Papa John's in a long time. And the Papa John's that's in my area recently opened back up, and I have not ordered from them. And I do like a Little Caesars from time to time. Like, that's really fast and go. You get that and go. But I like all types of pizza. Pizza is like one of my favorite foods. I'll eat pizza all the time. If you ever had a brick house pizza, like they cook it they make it flat and they put it in a brick house oven, and it's really quick. They take it right out real quick, But yeah, I'm a big pizza lover. I really am. You know, that's why I do watch a lot of people always ask me like, you should react to more food stuff, Chris. I'm like, now see, that's gonna make me hungry if I do that stuff. Like, I got my favorite franchises, and some people, some I don't, some don't. But Pizza Hut is still, and people ask me like, why? And I'm like, I like that pan fried taste, the pan baked taste. I like that. It's pan. I love, even their outside their pizzas, all their like side stuff. I love, like their cinnamon sticks. Oh my god, like they're just ridiculous. Um, I've been to New York, and it's a freaking maze. Not unless you know where you're going. And New York can be a lot of fun. Like, one thing that my dad has always taught me and my brother was like, to get around the city, like always to like take the train if we get in the subway system. Like he would show us like, okay, this is where you go here. You want to get to Yankee Stadium, you take the 4 train going uptown, going into the Bronx and things like that. Like, he wanted to make sure we never got lost in the city, and he did a good job at that. Like, I can never say I'll get lost in the city because I know where I'm at. Whether it's Manhattan and Bronx, Brooklyn, or Queens. The one borough I have not been to a lot is Staten Island. I've never been out there, maybe once, and that was it. Let me see. Oh, I love Central Park. Yeah, Central Park was great, especially if you go by the little man-made, and you can see the Waldorf Astoria, the famous Waldorf. It's nice. I remember when I took one of my friends, she was from Vegas. She's from Vegas. She came out because she was doing something for her job. It was like an expo, and she called me, and she texted me, and she's like, "I'm coming out to New York." She's like, "Want to meet up?" And I'm like, "Okay." And I took her, and I was like, "Okay, where you want to go?" And she's like, "Can you take me to Rockefeller Center?" I was like, "Okay." I was like, and we took a picture in front of Rockefeller Center and the big Christmas tree and everything like that. And she's like, "Yeah, I made it." She's, doing one, and she's like, "Yeah, I made it." This is where, Home Alone and stuff was. It was great. Took her to Times Square and all the different stores and things like that. It was great. I've been to the 91. Yeah, the memorial was great. If you had the chance, this is from Breel David. Have you ever chance? Would you introduce Galactus in the MCU? Oh yeah, ain't no way I'm leaving the big G out. Once, and and I'm gonna give a theory about this because they've already. Some people said at the end of Shang-Chi, if you haven't watched it, the rings were sending a message to somebody, and there's some theorists that's saying it's Galactus. I'm like, no, it's not. Galactus don't do that. He sends his heralds out first. The moment they introduce the Silver Surfer into that universe, he's coming. And I think they're saving Galactus because technically Galactus is not a villain. People always get that misconception that he's a villain. He's not a villain. He can't help what the way he is. He wish he couldn't do it, but he has to. You know, it's just who he is. I remember in the comics, Black Panther, Blue Marvel, um, Monica Rambeau, they were called the Ultimates. They did something that Reed Richards could never do: cure Galactus. They cured him, and he was, instead of the world devourer, he was the life bringer. So he would bring things back to life, and he gave that up to protect the universe from Ultron. But yeah, I loved him, and if he's gonna be Galactus, he's gonna be Galactus, dude. He ain't gonna be no Cloud. He's gonna be, because y'all bringing in the Celestials, and we saw the Celestials, and we're gonna see them again in the Eternals. Ain't no way. You can't tell me you can't do a giant man like Galactus. There should be never a question with the MCU about that's impossible to do now. When I said it before, if you saw Shang-Chi, they had dragons in that stuff. Like, no, nothing is. You incorporate the Marvel universe. No more of this. Oh, we can't do that. No way. So any thoughts on animated series? I'm loving What If. I just finished watching the last episode today, with Thor, Party Thor, and I thought that was fun. Still, my favorite episode is T'Challa. Any of them episodes where Chadwick Boseman is T'Challa, I'm breaking down. But I'm loving it. I love the zombies episode. I love that. I love that episode. And one of the reasons why I loved it is that was the first time we actually heard Peter say Uncle Ben. I was like, oh, he actually said it. I was like, we had never heard him since the MCU. We have never heard him remotely even mention Uncle Ben. And there's this stupid misconception that I feel is like, oh, well, we know the origin. That's not the point. If you know, as much as they do Batman, and they show how many times Martha and Wayne and Bruce and Martha Wayne and such as and his dad get killed, get shot. You still got to mention the man who made Peter into who he is. You still got to mention why he became Spider-Man, why he took on that mantle. It's not about, oh, we seen his origin. Doesn't matter. You still got it. What set him to be this character? He learned the valuable lesson of why. And that's where I think sometimes people, and I even say it, Kevin Feige, you're wrong on this. Yeah, incorporate Uncle Ben. Like, stop being scared to say that. Yeah, I know they want to, like, oh, Tony Stark is his influence. But there was somebody before that. There's always, anybody could say that. You have mentors. This was your first mentor. Who came next? Who's your mentor in your adult life? Who's your mentor and in a childhood? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Ever been to Salem? Never been to Massachusetts in general. I've never been to Massachusetts in general. I'd love to go to Massachusetts. I have considered cosplaying as a Terminator. Okay. So here's a rather interesting question. Could a new Marvel kaiju character work in the Marvel comics that resembles remnants of 70s Godzilla run? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. I don't think it'd be wrong. I really love to see you and do more videos together. It's not about, it's just timing. You just gotta plan it. But I have some big announcements coming So stay tuned for that. I can't remember. I can't remember if I already asked you this or not, but what was your reaction when Joker died in Gotham City in Arkham City? I laughed because I was like, "Oh my God, they did something that the comics won't dare do." Yeah, Warhawk. Could I would play a new Punisher game. I love the '05 game. The best tie-ins ever seen. Yeah, based on it. Yeah, I thought the Punisher games were pretty good. The only problem I don't want from a Punisher game is just it's like a first-person shooter. They back in the day, that's mostly how all the Punisher games were. Like all the Punisher games on Game Boy. Yeah, it's kind of showing my age, you know. But there was a Punisher game that had nothing to do with the movie or anything like that. And I think that's the one you're talking about, where one of the biggest things was the interrogation stuff, and you could just go cram in like trying to get information out of the bad guys. Punisher would be great. You know, Punisher definitely is another one I would look forward to. I watched the He-Man. I thought it was pretty good, interesting character challenges. Oh, okay. Yeah. I like to see a new Hulk game or even a Werewolf by Night game. Uh, Hulk would definitely work. I mean, with Hulk, it's you can't really go too wrong. Almost all the Hulk games after, especially Ultimate Destruction, were kind of based around that, and that's fine. Uh, Speaking of Werewolf by Night, he may be getting a Halloween Disney Plus special. Uh, do you think Kingpin will show up in the Hawkeye series? I've heard the rumors that Vincent D'Onofrio, uh, I would love him to be in that. The Hawkeye series that's coming out later I'm looking forward to this, and they are doing some things that I'm glad they're doing. For example, Hawkeye being deaf. That was back in the day. Hawkeye was deaf. He was deaf in one ear. I think forgetting the actress who's playing Kate Bishop. Great. We saw Echo. Can't wait to see her. Um, you see the tracksuit mafia. They're using Matt Fraction's run. That's perfect, you know. But and there is a scene in there where all the crime bosses were coming after Hawkeye, and Kingpin was one of them. I would not be mad if Kingpin does appear and Vincent D'Onofrio is back as Kingpin. I, I, I love it. But I'm looking forward to this series. This was another one of those series I was really looking forward to. Um, what they're doing with Kate is really funny. I think also Madame Mask is going to be in it too, because she does play a big role with Kate Bishop. So yeah, it's going to be fun. You know. Uh, let's see. I would love to see a wrestling event at Madison Square Garden. MSG baby. I've been to many wrestling events from back in the day, even up to currently at Madison Square Garden. It truly is. It is one of the most famous arenas. But when you get inside, you realize it's really not that big. But what makes it so much is the history of the who's who of people that have been in this arena. You know, it doesn't matter what field of athletics, the who's who of people who have been here, wrestling wise or boxing. You know, Ali and Frazier was there. Things like that. It is the most famous arena. To me, I wish New York basically would make that a national landmark. It should. It should be a national landmark. Um, but it's just something about that arena. It really is. It is one of the most famous arenas, and you wanna be there for like if you're a wrestling fan, yeah, you want to be there. You know. Andre asks, so What? Who do you think? What do you think about? Wait, I just saw it. Did I miss it? What do you think about Jason Aaron's current? I like it. I like his run. I like the lineup that he had. I'm a big Jason Aaron fan. Period. I love the dude. He's a writer I want to meet. Um, and every time I've been to a convention he was at, I never could because his line was just completely so long and I couldn't meet him. But I'm a big fan of his writing because it's a good mixture of old school along with his take. Like his Doctor Strange, when he was writing Doctor Strange, felt like old school Stanley Steve Ditko writing. It was like, oh, this is good. This is good. Um, I would love the interaction between Peter and Hope. Hope if in what if. Yeah, that was great. I love that. That I love how she was like, how can you be so? That was my favorite scene. That was one of my favorite scenes of Peter interacting with Hope. It was really good. Um, so any particular thoughts about the new DC Comics webtoon series Batman? Wayne, I heard about it. It is what it is. It's just more Batman, and I'm just like, hey, what up, bro? Love your new place. Oh, hey, D. And also, I got some news for you. I'm reading the David Michelle Spider-Man, and it's awesome right now. Now, I'm reading the web annual. Oh, yeah, the wedding. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So, who's your favorite new Batman character? Um, I like Punchline. I think she's cool. I like her. I find it cool that Joker has found the new girl. And Harley don't really care, but she ain't gonna take no crap from her. Like, um, Clown Killer is all right. Uh, but yeah, the new Batman characters are okay. Uh, they're okay. Hey, buddy, what's up, Rex? Uh, Yeah, we need another 911 call reaction from you. That's when I first found your channel, and you could tell you had a good heart, or how sad or man. Yeah, see, the problem when I did that, that was actually requested to me, and then I stopped doing requests on the main channel, this channel right here. I do have an all reaction channel where you can request anything you want. Problem with the 911 calls and stuff like that, yeah, I do get emotional, and those things do make me sad because my crazy mind puts my relatives or somebody in those situations. Like the situation that I remember, I'll never forget the 911 call of the old woman, and that guy broke into her house, and I was just thinking about my grandmother. I'm like, if that happened, man, it's like, what the fuck, like. Even the one that I remember, the little girl, she was calling because her stepdad was beating on her mom and stuff. And she's like 3 or 6 years old, and I always give a shout out to those 911 operators. Like they gotta be calm and try to keep the person calm. But man, I've always said I could never do that because by the time if the person that harmed her gets on and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna hurt her," I'll be flipping out. Like if you touch her, like then I'm gonna find you, like stuff like that. But yeah, it's hard for me to do that. But when I do reactions, I do stuff that I've never seen before. No, that's what I learned from watching other reactors. And I was like, okay. But a lot of people, a lot of the pack, they love when I do the comic movie uh, trailers because they always know, oh, he's gonna flip out or something, or he's gonna see something that he knows from the comics. Like I still think my my best viewed comic book movie reaction is the first Black Panther movie. People have that thing got over like so many views, so many thumbs up. People were just loving it. But I'll never forget the reaction when I did Thor Ragnarok, and the moment I heard Hulk talk, my mouth just and I was just flipped out. It was crazy. And then when they showed him fighting Surtur, I was like, oh, it's crazy. Yeah. But if I did stuff like that, you got to be careful now, especially now, David Brill. It's harder because now YouTube be coming at you like, oh, this is promoting self-harm. And I'm like, no, it isn't. It ain't presenting self-harm. Because I ain't not harming anybody. So you got to be careful now with it. But yeah, that stuff does get me mad, and it does get me mad. It does get me upset, and I have no problem crying on camera. I've done it before. Hell, there's the trailer to Mr. Rogers' Wonderful World that Tom Hanks did. That made me cry. Like, you go back and watch that, and I'm crying. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna get me. But it is what it is. So. Any thoughts on the Netflix series Kid Cosmo? Haven't seen it. Need to check it out. I like your reactions of 100 nut shots from that one right there was crazy because, like, first of all, as a man, and I know we got a few female pack members in here too, but as a man, when you get hit down there, ain't nothing cool about that. All right, let's be straight, real. Ain't nothing cool, and I know because I've been kicked down there, and I've told this story many times. But for anybody who don't know, okay. So when I was 14, or yeah, 14, about that time, 14, I was still in junior high. I was in junior high school, and I'm coming out of school. School's over, and I see a couple arguing with each other, and I guess the dude basically cheated on his girl, and she found out, blah blah blah, and she basically tries to kick her ex or whatever, and she did it with her eyes closed. So she goes, and I'm coming, and first of all, I should have tried. I was trying to get around them, so I'm like, okay, just go between them. She ain't gonna, and I try to go between them, and she right in the nuts, and I just felt like I'm just on the floor, like just holding my nuts, and the dude's just laughing at like, oh, yo, look at the little shorty, you got kicked, and they're like laughing at me, and I'm just like I'm like, oh, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Like, why? Like, and she stayed with me until I kind of caught my breath, because that's another thing. A nut shot will like take the breath out of you. It feels like it is up in your fucking stomach, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm okay. Like, I'm all right. And she stayed with me. She was like, are you okay? I was like, she's like, I'm sorry. And I'm 14. I'm just like, I'm mad. Like I'm just looking at, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm just mad. I was just pissed. Like, that's my encounter. I mean, I've been hit a couple times, but most of the time it comes from like sparring and stuff. Like, I got kicked in the nuts or something. But it ain't no joke. But when you see stuff like that on that video, when these doofuses are letting people, don't, it ain't a white thing. It ain't nothing about that, because I'm not gonna be one of people. See, that's a white person thing. Them white people, y'all be doing all that stupid shit. Nah, it's just stupid. Period. Like, don't be insisting on it. I see that one dude had that freaking lawnmower dropped. I'm like, why are you that stupid? Don't do that. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Um, so, but thank you that if you like that. If I made you laugh, that's fine. I have no. I love putting a smile on people's faces. Like, if I made you laugh, I made you laugh. That's fine. Let's see. Have you seen the 911 where some woman called 911 over a fast food order? I seen that idiot. I've seen videos where, and I think I reacted to them, idiot 911 calls, and the stupidest. I'm like, see, it's stuff like that. Like it's one thing when you see them stupid Karens doing that stuff, but now when you start calling the cops on like, oh, my order's wrong, I'm like, these people got better things to do with that. Like, you should be arrested just for stupid calls. Like, I'm sorry, it's stupid. I get it. Just want to pulverize abusive parents. Yeah, I ain't with that. Like, abuse, bad parenting. I've done reaction videos on bad parents. Um, I don't play with rape, harassing. I'm the wrong person to like bring that stuff to and think I'm gonna laugh at it. Like, if you are being abused by any your boyfriend, your husband, I'm not with that. I'm not with the abusing of, just in general, like women. Like, it's like, if the woman said no, I don't know what it is with us guys. If we don't hear that, we hear some kind of other gibberish. Oh, she really wants it. No, she said no. Fuck off. Like, that will make me punch you in your mouth. Like, she said no. Like, stop. But I see it almost every day. Like, guys whistling at a good looking man. Don't get me wrong. I am not wrong. I am not without my faults too. In terms of, like, I see a very attractive woman walk by me, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. And my response is always now, "Sweet Christmas." I be quoting Luke Cage all the time now, and many times some of these women have heard me say that, and they're like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "I said Sweet Christmas." Instead of saying "damn" or something like that, I said Sweet Christmas. You would rather be that way. I would rather say that, Sweet Christmas. But I'm not going to the point where I'm like, I'm a chase after or grab them, and I see that enough, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like, respect her bounds. So I'm not with that. I'm not with abuse. Parents, I've heard some stories and seen like, the one that really pissed me off. I remember when I did a reaction was these parents um, shook their baby because they shook their baby to death because she was crying so much when um, they were playing Farmville or some other stupid game on Facebook, those free games. And I'm like, you shook your child to death because she was crying so much and interrupting your. To me, it's like, then what the fuck did you have that child for? And I'm a person that wants children and stuff like that. And you do stuff like that, no, I'm not. I'm like, you fucking idiot. You goddamn idiots. It pisses me off when I see that. I'm legit with that, man. I'm not. I'm the wrong person to like joke around with that stuff. Don't come at me with that. How would you feel if Nub TV did I not nah. Uh okay, bro. Since Nick Spencer is leaving the Spider-Man title, is there a writer who you would like to see on the title, or has it been enough? It's already been announced who's taken over, but still to this day, I will always say I want Gail Simone writing Amazing Spider-Man. She's written Spider-Man, but I want her to have a full run with it. Yes, I am a Gail Simone fanboy. She is my friend. I know her. I know her personally, but she is. I love her writing, and she can take characters and she can take the most mediocre character and make them into something more. You don't buy that? Go read her Secret Six run. What she did with those characters, Ragman, uh, uh, Vandal Savage, even what she did with Bane. She look at what she did with Catman. That was a character I hated. I didn't care crap about Thomas Blake. When she took over, she made that character. She made me like that character. I would say she would probably if DC said, "Hey, Gail, we want you to take over Robin, Damian Wayne," she probably would make me like Damian Wayne because I hate Damian Wayne. I hate that character. I hate that little big-headed. I can't stand him. I can't stand. I hate him more than Jason. And I don't hate Jason Todd, but I hate Tim Drake. I'm not Tim Drake. I hate Damian Wayne. I hate him with a passion. I want him gone. I want him dead for good. Him. I don't like the Sentry. I hate the Sentry. I hate that character. That character gets on my fucking nerve. I can't stand that character. I have no idea why they claim that he's the most powerful. And it's like, oh shit. I can't stand that character. I can't stand the fact that how do you explain his powers? His powers make no fucking sense. He's got the power of 3 exploding suns. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? That I can't stand him. I have come to now kind of accept Dawkins because I used to not like Dawkins either. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like him now. And the only reason why I was hating Dawkins is because of his anger towards his dad. Motherfucker, he didn't know you existed. What's wrong with you? Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, yeah, I don't like Emma Frost too. I fucking hate that bitch. I'm sorry. I hate her. I hate her. I want her dead too. Well, good. Um, yeah, but yeah, Devin, they've already announced the writing. The writing. Surely there are just some people you want to point. Yeah, is Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man Home? This is from Rex. I believe they are because Andrew Garfield is trying to be slick. He's trying to be slick with it and trying not to say he's not in it. But I think the bag is out. I think they've already said they somehow it got leaked, and you see Toby um, and Tom Holland together. I'm like, yeah, okay. People can be awful. Yeah, they can be. They can be. That's why I always say, like, look, man. I learned a lot from this one people like there's one guy that always says spread more love because there's too much hate in the world. There's a guy I watch on YouTube and I believe in that, like, it was put a smile on somebody's face rather than make them feel bad or something like that. I'm not about shaming anybody. I'm not about making somebody feel bad. I'm not about like bullying somebody because I know what that's like to be bullied. Like I said before, I've been bullied just being short. I'm a short guy. I'm short, guys. Like if I get out this chair, yeah, it would look like I'm tall, but I'm not. I'm only 5'3". I'm the true size of what Wolverine should be. Um, and I've been picked on my height like for a while, but like I say that all the time. Like I do feel what Spider-Man goes. The only difference is I pushed back, and nobody really bothered me after that. So I don't pick on anybody about what they look like or things like that. And besides, that's just also just my upbringing. Like I can't do that stuff because every time I feel like I do that, the ghost of my mom's gonna come and smack me in the face. Like, boy, don't you do that. I'm like, yeah, don't you? That's what it is. Uh, yeah, Gail Simone wrote a Superman story called Strange Attract. Yeah, she did. Oh man, don't let the X-Men fans know you hate Emma. You'll never hear the end of. I don't give a. I give two. It's what they think of Emma. I don't give two craps. They can come at me on. Like, I hate Emma Frost. I hate that character. I hate. It's like I don't. I never liked her as a villain. Yes, but I can't stand her stuck up, snobby, you know, I don't need no, I'm better than everybody. You're not even the strongest telepath. You're not. You ain't nowhere near Jean's level. And you know that for a fact. There'll be times I want Jean to just bitch slap her. Okay, just beat the lip. Like, she is like, I don't blame everything on Scott. Scott's to blame too. Because I'm like, you lose Jean for a while. And what has happened? You just jump into bed with another woman. You don't even mourn her. It's like stuff like that. But I can't stand Emma Frost. I can't. Like, I want her dead. I want her dead. I good for good. Like, people would think I would hate like Mystique or something, but I don't hate Mystique. I just don't want. I just don't want people. I just don't want them trying to make her into something she's not. She ain't no hero. She ain't no. When they started to do that with Mystique in the last X-Men run, that irritated me. I'm like, I don't care if she was, I would see an actress. I don't care if the actress was Charlize Theron playing Mystique. I don't want to see Mystique being a hero. She ain't no hero. She is no hero. She isn't a hero. She is cold. She don't care about her kids. The only person that she cares about is her lover, Destiny. And that Destiny is dead. No, no, she ain't dead now anymore. But yeah, that's all she cares about. She ain't. I can give two, but Emma Frost, I can't stand her. I can't stand her. I can't. Uh, had fish and chips for dinner tonight. I had burritos, fish and chips. Uh, let's see. All right. Keep it going, guys. Keep it going. I'll go a little bit longer, and we're gonna end this real soon. But keep it going. Let's go. Wait, when did Destiny come back? Um, in the books now, I think they brought her back because who's forgetting his name? Uh, the X-Men are now like they got their own nation. They got all this stuff now. Uh, and I think one of the things was getting Destiny back for Mystique because the X-Men now that they're on Krakoa, they can't die. Like they can come if they died, they bring their body back, they come back to life. Like they really play it up now. It's crazy. It's sick. I have corn chowder for dinner. Corn chowder. Who had that? What would you like to see in Street Fighter 6? Older characters. Characters getting older, uh, stronger, wiser, things like that. Or what is your opinion? What in what in your opinion was the true beginning of the end for WCW? I wouldn't say just the finger poke of doom, but when they gave David Arquette the belt, yeah, that was nope. And he's made up for it now, but yeah, he didn't need that. Your best Marvel movie? Am I missing? I don't see anything. Best Marvel movie? Winter Soldier. Captain America: Winter Soldier. That's still my top favorite Marvel movie. Yep. Uh, you're in you in any way interested in Dune? I remember watching the original movie, so uh, and I've read the book. So yeah. Uh, who would you have make a Halo live action movie? Uh, I'm forgetting the director, but the director who directed Fifth Element, I think could do it because I love Fifth Element. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. One of my favorite movies, and I think he could nail Halo. I forget who's directing the Halo movie. Um, uh, So why don't you hate Mystique exactly? Um, Mystique, I don't hate her. The reason why I don't hate her so much is because I think her abilities are cool. I like that whole espionage. Like she could be anybody she wants, even men. Like it's crazy. But I think it's just what I like about her is the mystery of her. Like there's not a lot of records about her past, and she's been around as long as like Wolverine. Don't really know who she, like Raven, is that really her real name? Like things like that. It's the mystery about her that intrigues me the most, instead of like just her looks and things like that. But to me, once they did, and then I just Jennifer Lawrence, I didn't like her performance as Mystique because she she basically went against everything that she was supposed to be preaching, talking about mutant and proud. But here she is, you know, always in disguise as her human self. And I know that's part of the contract, but they shouldn't have hired her if she wasn't going to stay in her Mystique look, her true skin. I didn't like that. She's talking about mutant and proud, and it's like, look at you. How are you going to say that? You know, get out of here. It's just stuff like that I don't like. Um, Shadow God. I don't know if you mentioned it already, but in my opinion, WCW truly died because of the AOL merger. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. But that, in terms of, in terms of like, in terms of other things besides that, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was just messing that up, and you could just see it. Roman Reigns versus Demon at Demon Balor at Extreme Rules, who will win. They ain't going. Honestly, it's cool seeing Balor Finn back as the Demon, but they ain't gonna have him go over on Roman. They're not. They are not gonna. And it's sad that it's like that, but it is. I like this Roman stuff, but it's like it's too damn predictable. Like it's like, oh yeah, there's no way they're gonna have him lose. It's and the problem I have with the Demon in general with Finn is that he's not different. He should be different. Like the way he wrestles, he should wrestle more aggressively, and people don't fear it. It's like they just it's just Finn and makeup. Nah, man, y'all need to put more emphasis on that. Like when he's just Finn the Prince Balor, yeah, this like, but when he's the deep, he's aggressive. It almost should be like he should be always in a berserk mode, like he should be huffing and puffing on to and you looking at this guy like, yo, what the hell is he gonna do to me? Like, stuff like that. That's just right there. Are you attending New York Comic Con this year? No, I'm not. Um, going to continue what I said. I was thinking about it, but I said no, I'm not going to do it. I will start all over next year. Has nothing to do with them going to be checking to make sure people are fully vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. I think the problem is just I'm not. I just I'm not going to do it. I said that like even if it does come back, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take the year off. I'll take the year off and start all over again. So once 2022 comes, start planning and looking at the conventions. I'm trying to, as I said, try to hit 4. I always try to hit 4 a year. And of course, New York Comic Con is definitely there. Uh, After New York Comic Con is Baltimore Con, and I'm like, I always look at both of them. I'm like, who's gonna be there? Like, and I look and I'm like, okay, but it is no, I'm not going. Okay. Uh, what you watch any original ECW back in the day? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Um, Here in New York, back in the day, uh, ECW used to come on the Madison Square Garden channel, MSG, late at night, 2 a.m. in the morning. And maybe times I would be up and I'll see this, and I remember watching. I fell in love with guys like Rob Van Dam and Taz. That was definitely my boy. Taz was my dude because he was a small guy, but he would fuck people up. Like, he was called the suplex machine. Dude was just killing it with that. Now you see him now in AEW, and you're like, man, look at Taz, and now his son's around and stuff like that. I love, it was Rob Van Dam and Taz that really got me into ECW. I didn't mind Tommy Dreamer, but I like Taz and Rob Van Dam more than them. I wasn't a big fan of the Sandman. Sabu is all right, but he botches like hell. It's just like, that's why you always see Sabu on Botchamania. It's just like, yeah, he's gonna botch. Uh, so here's a rather weird question for you. Could telepathic house cat like feline alien invader type characters, could they work in the Marvel comics? Yeah, any character can work. You just gotta build to it. Sandman is cool too. I'm not a big. I was never a big Sandman fan. To me, he couldn't wrestle. I was like, yeah, this dude's not even. He can't wrestle. You gotta have some semblance of. Of course, the Dudley Boys. They're legends. I love the Dudley Boys. But you know, Sandman. Sandman was just an entrance. That's all he was. Sandman was just an entrance. People like him. He comes out. He sucks the beer, drinks, all that, breaks over his head. That's about it. He's nothing. He's nothing but an entrance. That's clear and simple. Uh, but yeah, Dudley Boys definitely rocked. They're legends. They're Hall of Famers. One of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling. That's no lie. They are. And the fact that they've been together for so long, and they got a wrestling school, and I'm always happy for them. Devon grew up in a town not too far from me called New Rochelle. I'm real close to New Rochelle, and Tommy Dreamer's from Yonkers. I'm not too far from Yonkers is where I am now. Yonkers is like a block over from me, so it's like, yeah. Uh, uh, Let me see. My favorite is Raven from the. I've met Raven. I met him. I met Raven one time. He was in a comic book shop that I was in White Plains, New York. Um, I was in White Plains, New York. It's a city a little further, a couple miles from there, and he was there. And I was by the, and he was in the corner, and I'm coming around this guy, and I'm like, this dude looks familiar, because he had on the leather jacket and everything, and I'm kind of peeking over. I'm like, this dude looks familiar. And I come around, and I finally he turned around, and he had a uh, he had a Spawn comic in his hand, and I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, and I guess nobody else knew who he was, but I knew who he was. I'm like, man. I was like, Raven, and he just went, and he came over and he shook my hand. He's like, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. It's like, what are you doing here? Like, and WWE at the time was having an event up there, so he was there, and I was like, it was cool. So he was nice. He's a real nice dude, real good dude. Um, his TNA run is my favorite. Brock Lesnar's new look is awesome. Yeah, I like Brock Lesnar. He looked like something out of Streets of Rage. Every time I'm like, he kind of looks like the current Axel in Streets of Rage 4. Axel got that beard now, and I'm like, Yeah, he kind of looks like that. He looks like some out of Streets of Rage or Final Fight. It's so funny. But yeah, I like it. It's cool. All right, guys. So I want you guys to get your last questions out. Get them to me now because I'm gonna wrap this up in 2 minutes. So get your last questions out. Uh, and once again, I want to thank every right now before I forget. So I definitely want to thank uh, Will Miser. I want to thank also uh, Hamster Maiden for the donations to save our wolves. It's going to go to the International Wolf Foundation. Uh, Thank you for the donations. No matter how much you gave, didn't matter. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's see what your last questions are. All right. Last questions from Warhawk. Do you think Namco might reboot Tekken after 8? Uh, I doubt it. I don't think it needs to be rebooted. You know, if just end it. You could just end it. I don't want to see Tekken get rebooted. It actually is cool to see like, yeah, Hihachi's dead. You know, it's like, yeah, I actually like that. The man's dead, and it is not a joke this time. He's actually dead. It'd be cool to see, like, yeah, that whole family, since the Bashiba family is so freaking dysfunctional, they all leave the franchise, and the franchise goes on without them. I know that may be kind of hard to do because people love Jin and Kazuma and all those. I do too, but it'd be kind of cool to see where they would take it. It's just like if Street Fighter killed off Bison for good, how would that feel? Mortal Kombat killed off Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn for good. How would that go? It could be them incorporating new characters, you know? Caroline, do you ever feel conflicted about your favorite things? I know I do sometimes. No, never do. Can't be. I can't. I can't never feel like, oh, you like comics and you're a year from being 40. You shouldn't like those no more. Nope. Oh, you like video games. You're almost 40. You're 39 now. No. You know, you collect comics. No. You know, those things, those hobbies are the way I look at it, those hobbies, as expensive as they can be sometimes, you know, the one thing I look at why I enjoy those are the things that kept me out of trouble. Those hobbies are the things that kept me from doing stupid stuff where guys that I grew up with or guys I see are now I see them now and I'm like, yo, what happened to this dude? You know, I'm not out. I say it all the time. Comics and video games and all that stuff. I don't got no record on my I don't got no prison record. I never been to jail. You know why? Those kept me out of trouble. And if you can find somebody that can accept those hobbies, it's great. I don't knock anybody's hobbies. Like for example, if you are a big, let's say, fan of like reality TV, I don't like reality TV, but I'm not gonna knock you for it. If you like that, that's fine. I'm not gonna knock you for that. If you are a brony, that's a guy who loves My Little Pony. I got many friends that are brony fans. I don't knock them. Don't knock them at all. It's something that they like. That's fine. I don't knock anybody's hobbies. My hobbies are simple. You know, I'm an anime lover. I'm a gamer. I'm a comic collector. I'm a big brother. I'm somebody's cousin. I'm somebody's nephew. Somebody's son. But my hobbies have kept me out of trouble for 30 plus years. And I'm going to continue them as long as I can until the day it's time for me to leave this world. Plain and simple. Bye, buddy. Later, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night, guys. Okay. All right, guys. So I appreciate everybody who came through. Thank you so much. I will be back next month with some more, another open mic, and there are going to be some vids that are definitely going to, I'm going to talk a lot, what's to come to the channel, especially the main channel, things like that. I probably don't want to spoil too much, but the next time, they're going to be, I'm going to continue to do Q&As, the first of the month, the first one, and there's going to be still 2 Q&As, but the other one will be a little bit differently, and I'll explain that later when the time comes. But in the meantime, guys, you guys take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace and love. Stay tuned. Keep it real, guys. This is your Alpha. I will see you guys next time. And thank you once again for the donations. Much love and respect.